Hello, welcome. So today I'm going to discuss on a super visa, Canadian super visa. Okay, so what is a Canadian super visa? So there are a bunch of kinds of visas, but this another kind of unique kind of visa. So let's see what is a super visa. In this video I will cover what is a super visa. In the next video I will cover who can apply. Okay, so if you click on here, you must meet all the criteria to be eligible. So if you click on here, you will go to who can apply. Before that, in this video I will discuss what is a super visa, so the basic concept of a super visa. Okay, so this is what is a super visa: visiting your children and grandchildren. So if your children or grandchildren are permanent resident or citizens of Canada, then you can visit them on a super visa. Okay, so how is that? A super visa lets you visit your children or grandchildren for 5 years at a time. So you can be in Canada, you can stay in Canada 5 years at a time. It's not like tourist visa or visitor visa, simple stay of 6 months is allowed. No, it's 5 years at a time. Okay, so super visa is much stronger, much more lengthier. Okay, it's a visa that provides multiple entries for a period of up to 10 years. It's like tourist visa. In tourist visa or visitor visa, the multiple entries allowed for up to 10 years, but maximum stay at a time is 6 months. Here 5 years at a time, so it's much more bigger, right? In time frame it's much more bigger. There are specific requirements for a super visa, including the need for health insurance. So in case of super visa, you need an additional requirement to fulfill, at least one additional requirement, which is you need to have health insurance. Okay, so you must meet all the criteria to be eligible. I will discuss the eligibility criteria in the next video, which is who can apply. Okay, so I give you some more concepts. If you want to stay for 6 months or less, apply for a visitor visa. As I said, a visitor visa is a shorter term, like 6 months stay allowable in that visa, but in super visa, no, it is much longer. You can stay 5 years at a time. Okay, the date you apply for your super visa may affect how long you can stay in Canada. Okay, so if you have applied on or after 22 June 2023, one type of rule. If you applied before June 22, 2023, another kind of rule. Okay, so let's click on if you apply on or after June 2022, June 22, 2023, what happens? If you applied later or on June 22, then you're eligible to stay for 5 years at a time. 5 years at a time. So this is very straightforward. But if you applied before June 2023, what happens? So if you applied before, then the date you enter Canada with a valid super visa may also affect how long you can stay. So you have, for example, applied before June 22, 2023, but you entered Canada after June 22, 2023, or before June 22, 2023, that matters how long you can stay. Okay, so let's click on you entered Canada before June 22, 2023. If you were in Canada before June 22, 2023, in that case, so you applied before this date and also you have entered in Canada before this date, what happens? You can stay in Canada for the length of the time the border officer granted you when you entered Canada. For example, if you were granted 2 years, you can stay in Canada for 2 years. So that is the situation. So if you have entered before June 22, 2023, whatever the border officer granted you, for example, 2 years or 3 years or 1 year, whatever, that is the length you can stay in Canada. However, if you want a longer stay, what happens? You have two options. So maybe you have entered in Canada, you were granted 2 years, but you want to stay longer. Then you can either leave Canada before the end of your authorized stay and re-enter Canada, Then what happens if you leave Canada before the 2 years or whatever year, 1 year, 3 year, whatever the border officer gave you, you left Canada before that date, duly left Canada, then the border officer may let you stay for 5 years if you still meet all the eligibility requirements for a super visa. Then when you will enter Canada again, then the border officer may grant you 5 years. That is normal if you meet all the eligibility requirements for a super visa. Okay. Another way is like you apply to extend your stay in Canada. For example, you are in Canada for almost 2 years, but you have applied for an extension, and then you will be approved for another 2 years. That is what is going to happen. So there are two options. Okay. So, and I discussed this. If you entered Canada on or after June 22-23, then this is very simple. You will be eligible to stay for 5 years at a time. 5 years at a time. Okay. So this is the concept of super visa. So in the next video, I will discuss who can apply. Thank you for your listening. Have a good day. Bye.